the ESR MX5 CHAMPROUND 4 at Bilster Berg qualifying pre-commentary. I'm very attractive. With me as always is the man who now only communicates by kicking and biting, Michael Magus.
Ooh, actually, I think I'm less likely to bite people now that they fix my tooth.
That is the joke.
Although it is not fully done yet. They're probably going to have to put a crown on it, and they haven't done that yet. But there's no more snake sounds, I hope.
In an ass-kicking contest, would you say your odds have gone up at least 50%?
No.
Over your former one-legged self?
I'm still one-legged. I think, if anything, I'm more one-legged.
Well, how about 35% more?
I think my chances are worse because, like I said,
Dang.
I've gone from limping around on one leg to walking with a cane. So I think we've downgraded actually.
He's
Anyway.
a one-legged man.
Although I am so happy to have my tooth fixed. So
yeah, I can dig on that.
Anyways, after that health update, here we go from Bilster Berg. The track that wants to kill you is obsessed with killing you and will probably succeed at killing you over the course of your time racing. We got Tobias Thierolf currently on pole, followed by Leandro Carroll. This man, Laissez Passer. That's good timing, actually. Mr. Passer coming up right when I get to his name there. And the qualifying looks like it's done. So we got Passer. Martin Evans up in 4th place. Yeah. Javier Vega, Bertrand Barrier, Magic Kazchuk, James Butler, Max Simmons, Lyndon Bingaman, Raul Valoria, Rene Erber, Andrew D down in 12th place, or 13th place. Actually, that's surprising. He's normally pretty quick. Newcomer Lucas Marian Jimenez. Newcomer, I think. Have we had Fumihiro Kobayashi on the grid before? I don't know.
I don't remember him now.
Anyways, he's in 15th. Steve Davidson, Mauricio Delgado, Scott Nick, Jeb Sparks, Kevin Schmidtke, Andy Foster, and Ken Scott, your 22 qualifiers. There may be more cars. We will find out. See if anybody hasn't posted a lap time. We got 3 minutes of warm up here. So I'm going to give a quick rundown of the standings. Or, well, not the standings, because unfortunately it's kind of, they're updated. So I have to kind of look at, I have to kind of infer. We are coming off of the Mid-Ohio round, which saw Tobias Thierolf pick up the win in race 1. And race 2 went to Hendrik Andreasen, who appears to not be here today. So that's disappointing. Thierolf has won 3 races this season. Andrew D has won a race. Max Simmons has won a race. The aforementioned Andreasen has won a race. As well as Dylan DaCosta, who won the first race and finished 2nd at Watkins Glen, and then stopped showing up, unfortunately. So I don't know if he was a random acquisition for those races, because these are open to any RaceRoom player. But that might be the case. But anyways,
a ringer hired to cover the spread by DraftKings.
I mean, maybe. Tobias Thierolf does lead the championship, followed by Leandro Carroll. And then it is Antonio Costa in 3rd place, followed by Martin Evans in 4th place. So there you go. So Byron, what are we looking forward to here in Bilster Berg? What are you hoping for, I guess?
Well, I think the Blue Jays are probably going to come out on top here with the number of blue cars, and therefore a lot of.
I don't know. I feel like we have a pretty good car mix here. We got some white cars, we got some black cars, got some gray cars, got some blue cars. The MX5 field has a lot of good liveries. The guys have kept it pretty fresh. Actually, I appreciate that. Unlike, say, the DTM race where you guys picked the same car for 5 of you. It's not cool, guys. Not cool. Also, somehow my favorite DTM car never got used in the entire series. What's up with that, guys? What's up with that? No Edo Mortara? No Edo Mortara. How dare you do this to me?
Edmonton Mall, what?
Edo Mortara was a DTM. Well, he is a GTM driver still. His car just happens to be my favorite livery. There's nothing about the driver of particular note. Although, I was watching a video the other day of the 10 most unexpected drivers to hold a super license. And he, I did not know this, holds a super license. And for those who do not know, if you hold a super license, you're eligible to race in Formula 1. So,
I didn't know that. I figured it just meant that you could drive one of them 18-wheelers.
No, I think that's a different kind of license. Now, the super license is you've had enough success in series that are not F1 to be allowed to race in F1 if a team will sign you. And
Very nice.
at any given time, I'm going to say there's maybe like 40 people in the world who have a super license. So it's a pretty exclusive group. There was a whole kerfuffle last season when Colton Herta and Red Bull wanted to come to a deal. Oh, Lord. What are you doing, Tobias?
Looks like Tobias is well warmed up.
Indeed. There we are. I was saying everyone's like, nice and spread out in liveries, and we realized that Lucas Merlin Jimenez is in the same livery as Tobias, although it is the 8-bit livery, so I can't hate on it. But anyways, so there was a whole kerfuffle when Red Bull wanted to sign American driver Colton Herta to drive for their B team in Formula One, but he didn't have a super license, and they would not budge on that. So he's a good driver, though. Colton Herta he's a good driver, although he does crash a little bit much for me to want to put him in an F1 car. Just say it.
They're cheap. They're only made of tinfoil and gum.
Made out of carbon fiber, sir.
Well,
very
easy
pricey.
enough. The carbon fiber's pretty thin and therefore cheap.
Very, very pricey.
No.
All right, grid is forming up here, and what do we got here? We got 23 cars. So Adam Komorowski, the man you are on board with, actually is the only man not to qualify, so he is bringing up the rear as the red lights are on, and we are off. Here we go with Tobias Thierolf leading the way in the 8-bit livery car. Second place could belong to Carroll. Still third to Laissez-Passer. No changes in the top 3. Some changes further on down, though. Komorowski's moving up a couple spots, overtaking Foster. It looks like Merlin Jimenez may have had a moment because he is back down towards the back of the field, although Komorowski drops to the back now. So I don't know what's going on there. Lots of side-by-side action throughout the field. Max Simmons in 9th place. And one of the red cars, I don't know who that is, making their way.
I think that's a few people are cutting corner there on that one.
Little bit, yeah. A little bit of dust getting kicked up. Lyndon Bingaman picking up a track cut penalty. Raul Valoria battling with him side by side. And somebody is facing the wrong way. That is Bertrand Barrier, I do believe, who is having to execute a tactical spin and rejoins near the back of the pack. So to still Thierolf from Carroll, Passé, Edmonds, Vega, Kaschuk, Butler, Simmons, Valoria, and Bingaman, your top 10. Side-by-side action there between 2 cars. I don't know who that is. That appears to be James Butler and Max Simmons going side-by-side for 7th place. Simmons coming out on top on that occasion, but Butler not done yet. Oh, Lord. Somebody getting really out of shape. That's Martin Edmonds. Recovered nicely, though, but did drop down a spot there, losing a spot to Javier Vega. Simmons hanging on against Butler still. We have 2 races today, a 15-minute race, and then we'll be into a reverse grid main event of 30 minutes where the big points are on offer. One of the yellow submarines trying to make their way through the field there. That is the car of, I believe, Mauricio Delgado, who I know is racing the yellow submarine. Oh, contact!
Slow roller.
That was Delgado and Steve Davidson, and I don't know. I think Mauricio might pick up a penalty there. That was a pretty bad turn-in. Just saying.
Mauricio's honor, I am snacking on some salami. Whoa!
Oh, big spin there. That is Maximum Simmons. Chaotic first lap, or not first lap, we're on lap 3, but chaotic so far, action. But the front of the field pretty settled. Thierolf, Carroll, Passé, Vega, Edmonds, they're making their getaway along with Magic Kaschuk and Raul Valoria having some troubles there. Almost ended up in the pit lane. There's Passé, who's actually made it up into 2nd place. He's overtaken Leandro Carroll. Javier Vega also on the tail there. So Carroll dropping back. Oh, Lord, Carroll and Vega. Contact.
Oh,
what is going on here? There's a bunch of guys just like turning in. Vega is not happy. I'm not sure whose fault that one was, but somebody turned into somebody there. And Magic Kaschuk has found his way into the top 5.
Welcome to the Hit to Pass special. I'll be your host.
Apparently, yeah. Jesus. Further back, some creative lines being employed there by Andy Foster and by Steve Davidson. Gentlemen, you can't fight here. It's the war room.
I like the amount of slowdown penalties we got because that means that everybody will have to stick together and therefore more carnage.
Oh yeah, it's pretty tight so far. There's a couple of gaps opening up in the field. There's one between Scott Nick and Bertrand Barrier. There's one between, well, the top three are kind of spread out, but that's about it. There's a little bit of one between Vega and Butler as well. There's still pretty much everybody's close to somebody, with the exception of Passe and Thirolf, who are kind of on their own out in front. This track is an absolute menace. Oh, that is Raul Valori in the wall. This car looks okay. One of the 8-bit cars spinning out there, that is Merlin Jimenez. And that's James Butler. Oh, Lord.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Rene Ermer spins out as well. There was contact also. Butler getting piled on there. Jeb Sparks involved. As well as Andrew D, I think. And that is it for Butler. He has decided to hit the escape key and exit this race. They are having problems out here today. Byron, I told you you'd enjoy this track.
I do like it. I think they should just go straight to hit to pass rules. Save everybody a lot of trouble.
Javier Vega, who early on was quite annoyed, is running in 6th place. There's Bertrand Barrier, who's back in the top 10. We saw him in the wall earlier. Oh no! That's Kobayashi off.
He tried the Kobayashi Maru. Unsuccessful.
Good Lord. Guys, stay on the track.
I mean, it's more of a suggestion. The suggestion that they keep waving the yellow banner.
Oh no, Jeb Sparks!
Oh boy.
So, Sparks has decided he's had enough and he's out of this race too.
I could do
So
that.
he joins Butler on the sidelines. So top 10 update, Thirolf leading from Passe, Edmonds in 3rd, followed by Carroll. Javier Vega has found Carroll again. Behind him, it's Magic Kazchuk, then it's Bingaman. Bingaman's had a quiet but effective day. Max Simmons, Bertrand Barrier, Scott Nick rounding off the top 10. As we pick up Mauricio Delgado trying to overtake Kevin Schmidtke, and he succeeds. Andrew D also coming through. I think Schmidtke was like, I'm not actually in this fight. Let me just get out of your guys' way here. Fumihiro Kobayashi trailing Raul Valoria there. Big mover and shaker. Adam Komorowski started dead last, is up 11 spots to 12th place. He is your big climber. Admittedly, a little bit of an unfair one for him because, of course, not qualifying means that, you know, he could only go forward. He couldn't go backward.
He could do a backflip back into the pits.
I feel like Super Troopers comes in there. Pull over. He can't pull over any further. He's already over. You have any idea how fast you're going? 65? 63. I thought the speed limit was 65. Yeah, it is.
Glittering and glittering and glittering and glittering and.
I will pistol whip the next person that says shenanigans. Raul Valoria on the tail of Adam Komorowski, the aforementioned last place start. And there is Rene Ermer trailing Scott Nick, who's up in the top 10. Go Scott. Komorowski off the track there, losing out to Valoria and to Kobayashi. Oof. Is this turn? It's that turn right there that we just went through. That seems to be giving people all kinds of trouble. You can even see where the cars are getting through it successfully. They're clearly off balance. Andrew D's showing some damage there from the wars he's been in. Trailing and currently the sandwich between Mauricio Delgado and Steve Davidson. So he's in a D sandwich. And there is Lucas Merlin Jimenez. And Max Simmons on the tail of Lyndon Bigman. I think they're battling it out for top American honors, actually. So I believe the top 6 are all... yeah, there's actually confirmation. The top 2 Americans in the field.
Winner gets to fight Jeremy Roenick.
Merlin Jimenez overtaking Kevin Schmidtke for 18th place there. And you don't want none of Jeremy Roenick.
You do not. We're talking about a guy who had his jaw broken in 4 places.
He may lose, but he will make it not worth your time.
You will come out a changed human being.
He was one of my favorite person. They had that TV show, as Steve Davidson makes the overtake there on Andrew D. Oh, it might not be over. There we are. He was one of my favorite contestants on the show, Teammates, when they brought 2 people on from the same team to basically answer questions about their own team. And, they could do it. It was him and Sean Burke, and it had the famous moment of who on the Philadelphia Flyers is least likely to give a motivational speech in the locker room. And they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't figure out who it was. And their coach's answer, I think it was Ken Hitchcock at the time, was like, the answer is Yanni Pitkinen. Roenick goes, he didn't speak English. Of course he wouldn't make it.
Technically correct. Sounded like Hitchcock tried to give him a softball, and they just didn't go for it.
Yeah, and Sean Burke's like, it's true. I think the most English I've ever heard out of Yanni Pitkinen is, we go play hockey now?
Captain Mark, don't yank my chain.
Rene Ermer still trying to get up into the top 10. Good to see Scott Nick running in the top 10. Has he had a top 10 all series? Kind of interested in this now. I'm looking at the stats instead of the action. Yeah, he's never had a top 10. 2 11ths at Mid-Ohio were his best results. So here's hoping you can bring it on home.
All you have to do is not do what all those other people did, and you'll be in there.
That seems like it's a hard thing to do, though. Oh, speaking of which, Ken Scott off the track. As he's going to be lapped by the leaders.
We have the Ken Scott.
They are being very liberal with their interpretation of the track limits through that chicane. I'm just going to say it right now. There's a lot of grass being taken. I'd like to know what the illegal lap count for this race was. In fact, I could probably find out. I have to take my eye off the action to do it, but I can.
Oh my God! You missed everything.
I kind of know what's happening. I'm loading up the stats page for this race.
It's just a constancy of slowdown penalties. What a bunch of malarkey.
You tell me I gotta pay to actually see those stats now? I'm not doing that.
That's fair assessment.
I demand the pay features for free from Race App because I do all kinds of work getting ACC liveries for them. Every ACC livery that you can pick from the livery selector, that's my work. That's me. Andrew D on the tail of Steve Davidson. Battling for 16th place there. And Lyndon Bigman is pulling away from Max Simmons and actually is now on the tail of Magic Kaschek. Surprising D can still keep up with what looks like a pretty damaged car, honestly. So there's a considerable amount of crumpling going on in that front end. Time is running down here. We've probably got 2 laps to go.
And then they have to fight each other with spoons.
Oop. D thought about it. May yet get it. Davidson did not get a good run through that chicane. Slow down penalty for Adam Komorowski. I think he's one of the few names I haven't seen get pegged with a slowdown, actually. So completing the set. Oh, hang on. Apparently, what I was looking for is indeed available without paying. I just, for some reason, wasn't logged in. Interesting. Not as many invalid laps as I thought. Would you care to guess what 2 drivers had the most invalid laps, actually?
Scott Nick.
I don't think you'll guess them, actually, because they're 2 names that haven't really come up on the track cut list all that much, ironically. So they must have been cutting when other people were cutting, and we were seeing their penalties. Kobayashi and Leandro Carroll.
Oh, I was going to go with Martin Slip and Slide Edmonds.
No, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He actually was one of the... Oh, actually, shout out to our boy, because one driver did not cut the track in this race at all, Byron. One driver.
Was it James Butler?
As Rene Ermer spins out. No, it was our boy, Scott Nick.
Wow. What a what a stand-up guy.
So he gets his first top 10. At least he can hold it across the line. Oh, he might get 9th. As he overtakes Bertrand Barrier. Okay. Hey, camera guy, stay on Mr. Scott Nick. Show him some love. We don't really care who takes home this 15th place as much as we love Mauricio Delgado. Oh, there we go. On board with Bertrand Barrier. Will it be 9th or 10th? Barrier gets him at the end. 9th place. So, Tobias Thierolf, your winner from Laissez Passer and Martin Edmonds joining him on the podium. Carroll, Vega, Kaschuk, Bingaman, followed by Simmons, Barrier, Nick, Valoria, Kobayashi, Komorowski, from last to 13th, not bad. Rene Ermer, Mauricio Delgado, Andrew D, Steve Davidson, Merlin Jimenez, Schmidtke, and Foster. I believe Ken Scott also finished. Could be wrong. But yeah, the only person who had 0 invalid laps in this race. Scott Nick, congratulations.
You're telling me that Tobias Thierolf broke track limits?
6 times at least.
I don't believe a word of it.
6 times at least, sir. He had no collisions, though. That's nice. James Butler, by the way, 126.93 collisions per hour.
Bang.
It's a lot. He had 333.18 incidents per hour. That's not great. One other driver had triple digits there. That was Jed Sparks. No wonder those 2 were the retirees in this race. So, makes sense. All right. Well, that was Thierolf's 3rd win of the season. Hasse's 3rd podium of the season. And surprisingly enough, Martin Edmonds' 1st podium of the season. Came close at Most, picking up a 4th place, but that's about it. As the spectator rejoins the server here, and we'll get to race number 2, which will be 30 minutes in length. Byron, who's your pick for race number 2? Hang on, before you say, what is the reverse grid here? Do we know?
Before I say Mauricio Delgado.
Top 10. So Scott Nick is starting on pole, Byron.
Oh, baby. That guy will lead the race for at least the first 2 corners.
2 corners. All right. That's the call.
At least, minimum. Because I've seen me a lot of
I do kind of like Tobias Thierolf's chances to come through with a double win here, to be honest.
That's true.
He just seems to be in a little bit of a world of his own as far as pace is concerned around here. That is a really awkward pit lane right there with like the elevated like ramp with seems like a very short wall. Actually keeping the cars on.
Ramp? Do we have like a rocket booster ramp to get people out of the pit? That would be tight.
That would be dope. So my understanding is we will see pole position be held by Scott Nick. You know who might actually be a good bet? Although, he's a guy that I probably never really want to pick. Bertrand Barrier is starting on the front row. And we know Bertrand is very, very fast. We just also know that he doesn't have an off switch. And by which I mean, he is constantly pushing at 110%. And that leads to a lot of mistakes. What is that line? I know it's warm up, but oh Lord. This is not promising at all.
Warm.
Have I ever told you about the most glitched track I've ever raced on, Brian?
I don't think so.
So there's a game called Race On / Race 07. It was it wasn't my intro to sim racing, but it was like the first time I got really serious about sim racing. And it's a game that has a lot of mods, and it's very, very open to creating your own cars, your own tracks, your own liveries, and all that good stuff. So one year, the league I was in decided to actually split up into like a regional cup thing. So like there was an Americas series, a European series, an Australia series, and so on. And I was in the American series, obviously. So one day, Damien, who was the admin for the America series, is like, "Hey Mike, come on, I got to show you something." I'm like, what? He's like, just come on. We had a track called Miller Motorsports Park, which is in Salt Lake City, Utah, on our calendar. And I load into the track. He's like, here, download the files. I like download the files. And it was like, all right, here we go. And I drop into the track, and here I am in my F3000 car sitting in the parking lot. Because that's where the cars spawned on this particular track. You had to find your way into the racetrack from the parking lot. And then you could race it. That was the weird thing, is you absolutely could race the track. You just had to find your way to the track first.
You know what? That should just be standard practice for all races.
So that was the most glitched track I have ever driven. The track otherwise was perfectly functional. It's just whoever designed it had just screwed up the spawn location for cars. Instead of spawning in the pit lane or at the start-finish line, you spawned in the parking lot. I don't know why.
I'm saying that should be shows initiative, handling skills,
it's creativity,
all kinds of good stuff.
It's creativity. It's breaking the meta.
Indeed.
All right, here we go. So Scott Nick starting on pole ahead of Barrier. Max Simmons might be in for a shout. Bingaman and Kaschuk, your top 5. Looks like we're down to 17 cars now. Either that or this is one of those cases where we only have a 17 car I'm trying to think of the term for it now. I'm just gonna say timing board, but there is a different term for it that is more technical. Simmons going side by side with Bertrand Barrier as Scott Nick leads us through. By the way, Scott Nick has made it more than 2 turns, Byron.
So I said at least.
He's exceeded your minimum expectation.
Indeed. Well done, sir.
And behind him, that's Bingaman in 4th, Vega in 5th, and that is Leandro Carroll. I do believe there are more than 17 cars, because I'm noting that the car that started in 17th place is no longer there and no longer on the timing board. So I think this is one of those classic cases where, like, we are just getting a cutoff thing. Yeah, because Merlin Jimenez has apparently moved up 3 spots to 17th place. So there's at least 20 that started the race. On board with Martin Edmonds. Podium finisher in the first race. Ooh, Magic Kaschuk looking rough. And that might let Edmonds through. battle for 7th place. I believe they are teammates because they are the traditional Polish or the Canadian pole team that usually forms when we have teams.
Which one of them is Suzuka?
Well, Suzuka would be Kaschuk.
Well done. I just finished season 2 of The Wire again.
The Wire.
I'd forgotten where Brother Luzone shows up, and now I know.
You need to be asking yourself one question. What do I have to do to make this man not raise up his gun again?
Hello.
Oh, laissez-passer getting mounted by Magic Kaschuk.
Power's on through.
Oh, that's not good. Got carnage early. Max Simmons is taking the lead. We missed that. We didn't get that on camera, but it's a 1-2-3 American podium right now. Simmons leading from Nick and Bigeman. Bertrand Barrier 4th, Vega, Carroll, Edmonds, Thirolf, Valoria, and Kobayashi, your top 10. Although I have seen Fumihiro Kobayashi appear like 4 times already for track cuts, so maybe chill those back. Maybe slide that back.
Learn how to power slide, dude.
He's got Magic Kaschuk on his tail. Come on, American team. You got the top 3. It's time to build that wall. Side-by-side action there between Kobayashi and Kaschuk. Kaschuk getting the better of it, moving up into 10th place. Oh, Kobayashi. Come on, camera guy. You can't go away from it when there's that close to a repass. Andrew Carroll looking for a way past Javier Vega. And it's still side-by-side between Kaschuk and Kobayashi. This may pay off for Rene Erber, who's right there with them.
Maggle, how do you feel about your Green Bay Packers signing Lamar Jackson?
I'm fine with it.
Well, you would be because they didn't. He actually re-signed with them.
I was gonna say I didn't hear that.
You didn't.
I mean, it's gonna be a bad season because we're probably gonna have to start Jordan Love, and I don't think he's all that good. Honestly, is Bigeman looking for 2nd place against Scott Nick, trying to go around the outside. And I think he did it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he did it.
What if he changed his name to Aaron Rodgers, but you spelled it with 3 A's?
I mean, I wouldn't be to be clear. This is not me saying that they should have re-signed Aaron Rodgers because they shouldn't have. But we're in for a little bit of a rebuilding period. It's just what I'm saying.
Well, the good news is you got a boatload of draft picks from the Aaron Rodgers trade.
Not as many as I would have liked.
Well,
we had to send our own 1st-round draft pick to New York.
New York? Why, are they extorting you?
Well, no, as part of the deal, we basically swapped 1st-round draft picks. So theirs is earlier, so we quote unquote win on that. But I think the problem that they knew that Rodgers wasn't really looking at anything else meant that they got to lowball us a little bit. I feel like we got lowballed.
Do your balls hang low?
Not that low.
Do they wobble to and fro?
I hear Vega looking to make a move here on Bertrand Barrier. And also in the mix there is Leandro Carroll. Of course, Scott Nick at the front there in the gold car. And can Vega get 2 spots here? He can. As Martin Edmonds ends up in a little bit of a spin. A little bit of an unsafe rejoin there by Martin.
I applaud it. Maggle, this blackberry root beer shenanigans you got me concocting, not quite a winner.
I thought it would be.
Well, I think I put too much blackberry in there. I got a soda stream the other day for people listening at home. And I got a variety of different flavors. And I gave Mike a selection of all the things I possess, and he's like, why don't you mix these 2 things together? And I did. Thus,
is Thierolf getting overtaken there by Leandro Carroll? That's a rare scene. Oh, that's Mauricio.
Boys,
no! Mauricio and Kobayashi off. Bertrand Barrier getting the slowdown penalty, continuing to abuse track limits.
Giggity.
So I believe this is where you do your Jim Carrey impression here, Byron.
Alrighty then.
I was gonna go with the "Stop Breaking the Law."
That's an option. I was gonna go with, excuse me, your balls are showing.
Bertrand Barrier falling behind Leandro Carroll there, so he's down to 6th place. He's having a rough day. I said he was a candidate to possibly win the race, and for the record, this is how you know I'm not cheating when I make that prediction, because it ain't going well for him. Javier Vega in 3rd place.
It is time for the most Simmons that there ever were.
Indeed, he's out in front. He's got a 3.5-second lead over Lyndon Bingaman, who is under pressure from Javier Vega.
Lyndon Bingaman Johnson, 15th president.
Scott Nick falls down to 5th place, losing a spot there to Leandro Carroll. He's getting swallowed up. Barrier, I think he'll be next. Theorolf also looking for a way past, as well as Ralph Aloria really showing well up there in 8th place. Good for him. Rounding off the top 10, it's Kazchuk and Ermer. Tobias Theorolf, the former member of the Gronks, former left fielder for the Gronks. I still want to reacquire his player. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean it's really weird that you can't do anything like that in the game. Like there's no trade at all.
No trade ability, yeah. Because left field currently is a little bit of an open spot for us. I mean, I'm still determined to make Gigi Tarantino a thing with the 19-year-old player, but it's gonna be a long work in progress to get that player to a level of like quality left fielder. And otherwise, it's just kind of like Denver High chilling out in left field.
I'll do it. I will pitch from left field.
That seems like a bad idea. Tobias, who's that making an overtake there? That is Leandro Carroll overtaking Lyndon Bingaman. So Bingaman's lost out to Vega and now to Carroll. Leandro Carroll is on a charge here today. He is determined. Who's our big mover of the day? Andrew D. up 7 places. He's your big mover. Oh boy! Tobias Theorolf got into the back of Bertrand Barrier there. And nothing really ended up happening. That was very, very close. Shout out, though, I gotta say, Raul Valoria having a great day in 8th place. You get a big chest thump. I'd give you an applause, but my finger has to press the push start button. He's doing very well out there today. So we're 1/3 of the way through. Max Simmons still in the lead, and it's a pretty comfortable lead. 3.5 seconds over Javier Vega. Vega's got Carroll to worry about. Bingaman. Scott Nick is still in 5th place, although Tobias Theor over the wall. Not quite. Didn't end up at the wall. Barrier did, though. So 2 of the fastest guys on track, Theorolf and Barrier, getting into it. And they end up off track. That's Andrew D. up into the top 10, by the way, up in front there in 9th place. He's having a very solid race, number 2.
Who does?
Further back, Fumihiro Kobayashi on the tail of Mauricio Delgado, as well as the very beat-up looking car of, that is, I think that's a lapped car, actually. Because Steve Davidson's the one up ahead of them, and he's 12 seconds up the road, so that's not him. There's Theorolf. On the tail of Barrier after 2 of them had their violence. It's Martin Edmonds going kind of slowly there. Might have picked up a slow down penalty.
You should introduce some speed up penalties.
Well, that wouldn't be a penalty.
It would be if it's just reckless behavior. You're behind 8 cars. Speed up penalty. You must now floor it relentlessly.
Tobias, what are you doing taking up slow down penalties? You're supposed to be above this. You're supposed to be crisp, clean, competent racer.
Too busy putting everybody in the wall.
He hasn't really put anyone in the wall yet.
Just wait, it's coming. He's gonna pull a brakey and wipe everyone out.
On board with Bertrand Barrier. Trying to find a way past Andrew D, who has a car that looks intact this time, unlike last race. He was largely racing with a damaged car the entire time. Side-by-side action. Oh, Andrew D getting the elbows out. This is not today, Mr. Barrier.
Put him in the wall.
As Laissez-Passer slips up a spot there, overtaking Tobias Thierolf. We do not see Thierolf get overtaken very often.
Only when he himself puts himself in the wall.
Magic Kazchuk having a pretty solid day. Him and Rene Armour have caught up to the back of the battle with the top 6. Oh, that's Barrier off again! And Thierolf off again!
God dang.
Championship leader having a disastrous day after winning race number 1. It's Martin Edmonds ahead of him as well as Laissez-Passer.
I mean, it could be worse. Somehow.
It could. It could. He could be DNF'd.
Could be on fire.
Well, not in this game. They don't got that fire physics now.
Y'all need some fire. I need everything. I need the pistons to shoot through hoods.
No! Thierolf again!
I need that Thierolf guy to... What?
Oh! No! Our boy Scott Nick!
Oh my goodness, he has just had not the greatest...
they knocked our boy Scott Nick off track.
Not the
unacceptable.
greatest run
Unacceptable. Magic Kazchuk up in the top 5. We are officially not on the real Valoria train anymore because he hit our boy Scott Nick.
We might have to hunt you down, boy.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did end up losing a spot there to Rene Armour at least, so that makes me feel a little better. Nick rejoins in 8th place ahead of Andrew D. All right, so approaching the halfway point of the race, Max Simmons still leads, about 4 seconds now over Javier Vega. Leandro Carroll, followed by Lyndon Bingman. This 3-way fight here for 5th place between Kazchuk, Armour, and Valoria. Scott Nick in 8th, Andrew D in 9th, Laissez-Passer in 10th. Then it is Edmonds. Merlin Jimenez is up 8 spots. Barrier, Thierolf, they're having a rough day. Davidson, Delgado, and Kobayashi. Also, I don't think we mentioned this is a fixed setup series, which means that everybody is running the exact same setup. I believe, could be wrong on this, but I believe the only 2 things you're allowed to change in a fixed setup series is the brake bias, 1, and the fuel load. Those are the only 2 things that I think could be discrepancies across the entire field.
And the
There is
color.
no required pit stop.
Color obviously impacts hydrodynamic behavior.
On board with Rene Armour. We've seen some overtakes around the outside of this turn, but I don't think it's a high percentage thing. Although you could bully the guy into going super deep into the turn and try and take advantage that way, but it doesn't work out for Armour there. Did Raul Valoria get a drive-through penalty there? That went away a little bit too quickly, or did you just get a large slowdown for ignoring slowdowns? Side-by-side action between Andrew D. and Laissez Passer over 9th place. And I think D is going to hang on there, but it's very close. Maybe around the outside. Round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. I think Passe's got a catch check is apparently off the track. There he is. Something horrible happened to him. Something horrible keeps happening around Raul Valoria here. Raul, you're making it hard for me to continue to cheer for you here. I was very much leading the cheering section, but now I suspect you're doing some naughty things.
He's all jacked up on the cocaine.
Bertrand Barrier is once again with Tobias Thierolf. Right now between the two 8-bit liveries of him and Merlin Jimenez. Whoa! Big pop a wheelie there for Barrier, and Thierolf says, "Thank you very much. I'll take 12th place." Laissez Passer giving Scott Nick a hard time. Battle for 7th place.
Hold me closer, lazy passer.
Barrier's off the track and falling back. Rejoins behind Steve Davidson and ahead of Mauricio Delgado. Side by side there between Passer and Nick, but Nick hangs on. They've got Andrew D and Martin Edmonds coming up the rear.
Giggity.
Giggity. Barrier off the track again, and looks like he's gonna park it. I'm serious. If Bertrand Barrier is watching these commentaries, I'm not trying to pick on you, but if you just toned it down a little bit, adopted a bit of a long view race philosophy, you'd probably do better. Because you've got amazing one lap speed, phenomenal. As Passer, Nick, and Raul Valoria get very out of shape. Oh, contact. That was Martin Edmonds getting into the back of Scott Nick, I do believe.
I don't know what you're talking about. He went in the pit. He's fine.
No, that's Raul Valoria in the pit.
It's all clean.
And it's Raul Valoria going down pit row. I thought I saw him get a drive-through penalty, and I believe that is confirmation. And Scott Nick retires the car. No, Scott, no! I know you're angry with Martin right now. You feel bullied by him, but you shouldn't leave the race.
Scott, you were winning. What happened?
We got overtaken by Max Simmons.
That's not even true.
That was a long time ago.
No.
Simmons, by the way, is still stretching out further in front. He's up to 6 seconds ahead of Javier Vega. And you can see why Vega is probably more worried about the car in his mirrors, Leandro Carroll, than he is the trying to catch up to the race leader. Kobayashi and Delgado have been having a heck of a battle here that has now become for 14th place. Was for 17th place at one point, was for 16th before that, 15th, etc. But they're having a really fun race, so like proof that you can have a really good time towards the back of the pack because they've been battling hard back there. So applause to them. Magic Kazchuk trying to find his way back into the top 10. the man who holds the last spot in the top. Oh, there it is. He does pick up the spot there over Lucas Merlin Jimenez. Tobias Thierolf on the tail of Martin Edmonds, battle for 8th place. Andrew D up ahead. We've actually lost both the guys who started on the front row because it was Scott Nick and Barrier. And they both retired.
Well, maybe they shouldn't have been swinging bats at each other the whole time.
Maybe. So top 10 as we reach the final 8 minutes of this race. Simmons leading pretty comfortably, honestly. Javier Vega, Leandro Carroll, Lyndon Bingaman. That top 5 with Rene Ermer hasn't really changed. Laissez Passe, Andrew D, Martin Edmonds, Tobias Thierolf. Somebody going very wide there, but I think that's a lapped car. I think that's Andy Foster. Anyways. D, Edmonds, Thierolf, and Kazchuk, your top 10. We also have Merlin Jimenez, Davidson, Valoria, Delgado, Kobayashi, Foster, and Komorowski still running. Possibly more. We have lost Barrier and Nick from the race. On board with Martin Edmonds. He tries to run down Andrew. D's had a phenomenal day. Started 18th place. He's up to 7th.
That's an average achievement rate of 5.2.
5.2 on the Byron scale.
Something like that.
So I'm cheering for him to hang on here because Martin abused our boy Scott. Oh, Magic Kazchuk. Not the first car we've seen spin there. Probably won't be the last, to be honest. It puts Merlin Jimenez back in the top 10. 8-bit livery team.
It's a lot of bits. Some would say
8 of them to be specific.
One too many bits.
One too many, you say?
7 bits.
You're a 7-bit kind of guy?
7 bits. It's a indivisibly prime number by a power factor of 17.
True.
See? It's all true if you talk fast enough.
Can't statistics. You can make up statistics to prove 45% of all things.
Correct.
80% of people know that.
Lies, damn lies, and statistics.
No burning leaves without a permit, but I have a permit. Too late. Even Tobias Thierolf getting a little out of shape around here. That is the challenge that is this Herman Tilke developed Bilster Berg track, which is like the proof that Herman Tilke can actually do fun things. Those who don't know, Herman Tilke is the guy who, for the 2000s, if it was a Formula One track, he designed it basically, and he was kind of criticized for being a boring track designer. And the truth is, if you're not restricted by Formula One's requirements, this is the kind of stuff that he does, and this is insane.
Not enough loop-de-loops, but I like what he's doing here.
This is close to a loop-de-loop you're going to get. Martin Edmonds trying to find his way around Andrew D, but he's been trying for a couple laps now. And has not managed to get it done. Further back there is Fumihiro Kobayashi trying to chase down Mauricio Delgado. Not sure who that is behind them because it's not the car that's behind them on track, Andy Foster. It's got to be somebody else. Maybe a lapped car.
It's probably a tricycle. Got on the track. Ran over some kids.
Well, it's not a tricycle. Martin Edmonds now under pressure from Tobias Thierolf. He is in the sandwich.
Everything's a tricycle if you fuck it up hard enough.
Well, not really. A bicycle can't become a tricycle.
Well, you just need to split one of the wheels in half.
I feel like that'll just stop working.
Or have a really shitty crash with another bicyclist at a very specific speed and angle.
Leandro Carroll still trying to get second place away from Javier Vega. They have been battling for, honestly, what feels like the entire race over the spot. Which is not true, because we did have the All-American podium at one point with Simmons, Nick, and Bingaman. But since that point, it has been Carroll trying to find a way past Vega. Carroll's had a really, really good race. Phenomenal day. Trying to keep his championship hopes alive, and it's helped by the fact that Tobias Thierolf has ended up in the wall like 2 times.
I hit it 2 times. And then you got destroyed.
Got caught up in the carnage with Bertrand Barriez. We're on board with Martin Edmonds once again in 8th place. Martin fresh off his first podium of the season in race 1 here today. 3rd place. Yes.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Let's see.
Laissez Passer picks up 5th place against Rene Ermer, who makes a mistake there.
Use a little Horst Ermer.
Your biggest climbers, still Andrew D with 11 places, but Ermer and Merlin Jimenez have picked up 10 spots each as well, so some big climbing today. As we don't usually see climbing that bit. Oh, Lord! Who is that? That's Passer.
You got squoze.
Laissez Passer off track. By the way, Martin Edmonds has finally picked up that spot over Andrew D, so it's now 6th place for him, because he's now overtaken Passer as well. Time running down here, probably 2 laps to go. Passer looking to get around Tobias Thierolf, and he does. Oh no, it's Vega! Javier Vega in 2nd place off the track, and it looked like he was just kind of on his own. So welcome to the podium, Lyndon Bigman.
Well, see, the problem is too many squirrels got on the track. It slicks up your tires after a while. Maybe.
On board with Laissez. Laissez did get around Tobias Thierolf and into 8th place. Seconds to go. Steve Davis. Oh! Edmonds and D get into each other.
I think we have to black flag this Edmonds kid. He needs somebody to have a look at this guy.
I think that one might have been D's fault, actually. I hate to point the fingers at Mr. Andrew D, because Andrew D does provide us with that lovely overlay for RaceRoom periodically when the recording fails on his replays, and we appreciate that. But at the same time, that one looked like that one might have been on him.
I feel a little distraught.
So that is reconfigured us significantly here as time has run out. So next time across the finish line is the end of the race for these guys. Steve Davidson trying to find his way up to the top 10. Standing in his way is Lucas Merlin Jimenez.
Any relation to Lucas Giolito?
Probably not.
Fair enough.
He's got 1 lap to do it. So top 10 entering the final lap. We got Simmons leading from Carroll, Bingaman, Vega, Ermer, Passer, Thierolf, Edmonds D, and Merlin Jimenez.
He's a wizard.
There's Mauricio Delgado, who's still battling with Fumihiro Kobayashi. I believe that was Max Simmons taking the checkered flag up ahead of them and flashing his headlights in victory.
See, they got sparks and they got fire coming out of things in the back. Why can't we have fire coming out of things in the front?
Because we don't.
I demand it. I specifically requested it. Insert meme here.
Race 1 winner Tobias Thierolf comes across the line in 7th place. And Steve Davidson's not going to be able to do it. It is going to be Merlin Jimenez who takes that 10th place home. Just waiting for the final checkered flags to be shown. I'm not sure who's not done. Delgado appears to be done. This appears to be a cooldown lap.
Closed loop system.
Closed loop system, yes. Generally, when you see cars moving that slowly. Oh, there's the answer. Andy Foster to take the checkered flag. There we go.
It's Australian for beer.
30-second penalty for Kobayashi comes into play, so that promotes Delgado to 14th. Simmons is your winner. Fastest lap goes to Tobias Thierolf. Carroll will join Simmons on the podium along with Bingaman, like I said. Javier Vega, Rene Ermer, Laissez-Passer, Tobias Thierolf, Martin Evans, Andrew D., Lucas Merlin Jimenez. By the way, can we get this fixed so that the M's don't turn into little dots on the screen? That'd be cool. Steve Davidson, Magic Kashchuk, Raul Valoria, Mauricio Delgado, Fumihiro Kobayashi, Andy Foster, Adam Komorowski, Scott Nick was a DNF along with Kevin Schmidtke and Bertrand Barrier. I don't think Ken Scott, Jeb Sparks, or James Butler started the race, but maybe they did.
They did, and they immediately four-headed smashed it into the wall.
Maybe. Championship breakdown. Tobias Thierolf. It's still, it's only about halfway through the season. We still have TT Circuit Assen, Suzuka, Sonoma, and Circuit. I don't know what the name of that circuit is. I don't recognize it.
Circuit du Soleil.
Let me find the Charade, actually. So you're pretty close. Or Charade. That's the new French circuit, I do believe. Anyways, like Thierolf leads by 10 points over Leandro Carroll. Laissez-Passer in third with 106 points. Then it's Antonio Costa, Martin Evans, Andrew D., Max Simmons, Dennis Johnson, Bertrand Barrier, and Javier Vega. That is your top 10. And in the championship for the teams, it is the Enchanted Grasshoppers still leading the way, followed by the Classic Manatees, the Ancient Beluga Whales, Les Requins Invisibles, and the Maple Bulls. Edmonds is not teaming up with Kashchuk this season. He's teaming up with Raul Valoria as the Maple Bulls. Who's Kashchuk partnered with then?
That dude from Avatar.
Scott Nick. Partnered with Scott Nick as the Lucky Ostriches. They are in 12th place.
Very nice.
All right. So next up, it is, I just said, and I literally just forgot.
Macau.
I am the best. TT Circuit Assen's next. That's going to be the 45-minute like enduro race, which is not really an enduro race, but hey, is what it is. And Byron, do you have any final thoughts for the people?
Motherfucker Lee Hazelwood.